welcome back to my channel. My name is Isabel and today we're doing what's in my backpack, Master Student Edition, English Major Edition, Isabel's Edition, however you want to call it. So this is my backpack. It's yellow. I wanted this backpack since I was in high school, but I was known to always bring a lot of things, so I knew it wouldn't make sense for me to have this backpack because my student necessities were other. Now that I know that I don't bring that many things, it's better for me not to bring too many things because my back hurts. I got the chance to buy my dream backpack and I am very happy with my decision. I personalized it with some embroidered flowers here. I don't know, I feel like in Switzerland everyone has these backpacks. It would be difficult for me to spot mine if I just left it somewhere. And before I left Mexico, I just did this and I was very happy with the result. So here you can already see I always bring a water bottle with me. And let's start with the front pocket. Here at the front, I wish it had more pockets, but at the front it's kind of like a mess right now. I usually bring this where I have my keys and my cards. I have headphones, my AirPods, little coin pouch, antibacterial, an extra pen, and I usually bring some teas of some sort. In the English department of my university, they have like a kettle and you can make coffee, and they usually have tea available just for you to use, but I drink so much that I feel bad for taking it, so I usually just bring my own. At this front pocket, I store my phone, and that's about it. Then if we open this, we can get to the main compartment. And if you know these backpacks, you know that you can open them all the way down here, like this, to better your organization needs. I bring chargers, a phone charger. This is my pencil pouch. I have another one. I could also give you a tour. That one I bring when I know I'm going to be at school for a long time or I'm prepping for an exam and I need more utensils. But this one is the one that I usually use and it brings all my basic necessities. I have page flags, I have post-it notes because English major, and a bunch of markers and color pens and a mechanical pencil. I always need a lot of colors. I usually take all my notes with my iPad. I don't take notes by hand anymore. But I need these colors and this variety for annotating in class. It changes all the time because for some classes I develop a color coding system for annotating. In each class I also have them per color, so it switches, it changes almost daily, but it has some combination of the same stuff. It's something I like to do, and I don't know if everyone does that, but when I come back from school, I take everything out from my pouch and I put it back where it goes in my desk. Because for me, it's easier to just reach for them like that instead of just being here in the bag. But that also means that I need to pack it every night. Then this is just for show because I start school until September 19. But this is just what I usually bring. We have 2, 3, maybe 4 literature classes. So I will bring 2 books that we are currently reading. And that's it. You can see annotating. So because I have all these page flags, I try to put them in a way that they don't bend over. So I put them next to the pencil case because the pencil case is kind of like fluffy and more forgiving than, like, I don't know, the water bottle. Next, I have my bullet journal. We're gonna get a video more in depth of how I organize it, but this is it. Every bullet journal I have, I like putting a sticker. This is how a normal week would look like. There's a color for each class, and here I put my readings. So these are the readings for each class, and I just move them here and schedule them whenever I'm going to do them. Sometimes I don't bring my bullet journal if I want to carry less weight with me, because usually at school I don't have to consult it. It's more of a desk table for me. When I come here and I have to do some work, I open it and I see what I have to do for the day. And all the planning I do them on Sunday. But sometimes I just like bringing it, especially if I have hours in between classes and I'm staying at school, then I can see what I can work on. Then I bring this little moleskin notebook. When I came here last year, I bought a pack of 3 at a stationery store, and I'm just starting this one. Last semester I had another one, but I filled them up. And usually what I use them and why I bring them to school is that if we need to take a quick note or a quick exercise or something like that, that I don't want to actually do them in my regular notes that I take with my iPad. I just do them here by hand, and I use them also for my projects. So if I have an essay, here's where I plan my outline, or I get ideas, or if I'm reading and I want to take a further note that it might be too big for a post-it note or for the margins, I write it here. So it's a bit of everything. Is that where I dump everything that my brain is thinking of? Still school related, but not as formal as class notes. I don't have it here, but usually this pocket also has either a burrito or a sandwich for my first lunch and a piece of fruit for my second lunch. Although I also like bringing granola and nuts. I'm constantly eating. My backpack is the edition that has the laptop pocket. It fits a 19-inch laptop. And in this pocket, I first have 2 folders. Both of them are the same brand, exactly the same, but one has this label for German. I always bring my German folder even though I only have German once a week. But again, if I have time between classes or downtime, I usually get my homework in worksheets, so I have them here and I can work on that, or I can just revise, or I can work on verbs, all of that. I need all the help I can get with German, so I try and procure to always bring it with me. And then I have this. It was empty because I just emptied it and recycled the old paper, but just for you to kind of see. I don't often get loose leaves of paper anymore, but sometimes the professor gives you the syllabus, or you're working on an excerpt. This is an example, so you can see it. This is an excerpt of a book, and they give it to us to read and work with it in class and mark it. So that's where I usually put those pieces of paper. But at the end of the semester, I often recycle all of it because they're just worksheets. Then in this pocket as well, I have my iPad. Probably the thing I use the most for studying and working. I take notes with this iPad. This is an iPad Pro, compatible Apple Pencil. And I got it last year. My parents bought it for me as a present for starting my master's. So I'm very grateful for having it because I take all my notes here in GoodNotes and sometimes in Notion or Google Docs, depending on the class, the vibe. But I also use it for reading. I have the Kindle app here, so if I have an ebook, I either have it in the Kindle app or the actual book app for the Apple Store. And this is 100% what I use the most. This is where I do all the readings of the research I do, the PDFs, the secondary readings, the writing, etc., etc., etc. And I don't always bring my computer, but I always bring my iPad. Speaking of, this is my computer. I would only bring this if I have time in between classes to actually write essays. I bring my Kindle with me to class because I usually have books there. Not to consult them. I find the Kindle app for the iPad better if you want to have it big, because you can have both pages as if you open a regular book. But for actually reading those Kindle books, I go with the Kindle because it's more comfortable for my eyes. And I also bring it with me if I have to do some reading in between classes and I just want to have fun. I also have all my fun non-school books there. So yes, I bring it also for the bus, the train, all of that. So that is what's in my backpack, basically. I sometimes bring an umbrella because it rains a lot here. I want to answer a few questions that I've gotten through the years of being an English major and what you might need, utensils and stuff. We don't take many notes. You might take many notes if you're in a survey class because you do a lot of historical background and stuff, but we really don't need a notebook per class. And that's something I had to learn as well because I've always been a kind of person that each class has a color, each class has a notebook. At the end of the day, you're not gonna finish those notebooks, and if you want to save up some money, you can either take notes online and have like a part of Notion, or in GoodNotes if you have an iPad, or any other type of note-taking method, or get like a notebook and you share it in for different classes. Something that we are very lucky is that we don't have to buy textbooks. Like we don't have to buy like a chemistry textbook that is going to be $200 or so, but we have to buy a lot of little books that are going to be like $9, $14, $15, that at the end of the day it might be also about $200 because you're going to be reading books that are part of canon, they're very popular. Most of them are free to read in Project Gutenberg, or you can find them in a library, or you can find a lot of secondhand versions of them. So if you want to do English major on a budget, or because that's what I usually do, hit your local library, your secondhand store. And if you like reading online or with an ebook reader, a Kindle is a great investment if you're an English major, or just if you're a big reader, because you know books are cheaper there. But also if you have Libby or any other online library, you can send those books directly to your Kindle. You are going to be printing a lot, and if your school doesn't offer free printing, it might be a good idea to look into maybe buying a printer between you and a friend, or looking into what would be the best option for you. Sometimes you don't have to print every draft, but it is very useful for editing your essays and for like having different drafts that you can work on. But yes, printing is going to be a big necessity for you, especially the first years, because the professor is going to require you to turn everything printed, or they would require for you to print drafts and taking them to class for like workshop and stuff. You also have to think about that. Mostly, I think that what I constantly buy every beginning of the year are page flags and post-it notes, because we use them a lot, or at least I use them a lot. And if you love stationery like me, you're going to be spending your money a lot in that. I would say that good quality page flags look good and they last a long time, but you can definitely get the cheap ones and take them off if you don't want them to stain your books, or if you don't have a lot of money. Like, you don't have to have the best tools sometimes, because you just need something that works, something that is going to signal the page that you want to look at, and that's about it. You definitely don't need an iPad, and you don't need the greatest technology for studying English. You also don't need to own every book that they are going to require. Just find a way that you can read the text and you can engage with it sufficiently enough for you to learn. And I wish you all the success in the world. This is what I have in my backpack. You can already saw what it's in my pencil case. But if you have any more questions, please leave me a comment down below. My name is Isabel. Thanks for watching. Keep reading. And when you're not, follow me on all my social media, linked down below. Bye. Don't buy the books for the classes. I get the Kindle version.
Isabel,
Alexa,
here's your reminder.
stop.
Do grocery list.
Alexa, stop.